Welcome, thrill seekers, to a world of spine-chilling tales and hair-raising adventures. Gather around for a frightful journey into the unknown as we delve deep into the realm of scary stories. Buckle up, hold on tight, and get ready to experience a rush of terror like never before. It was just another Friday evening when 5 friends, John, Rachel, Mike, Amanda, and Sarah, decided to try their luck at an abandoned asylum in the outskirts of town. The place had a notorious reputation for being haunted, but they shrugged off the warnings of the locals and decided to explore the building for themselves. As they entered the crumbling asylum, they felt a chill run down their spines. The air was thick with the musty smell of decay, and the creaking floorboards beneath their feet made them uneasy. They had heard stories of the unspeakable horrors that had occurred in this place, and as they made their way deeper into the building, they began to feel as if they were being watched. Suddenly, a piercing scream echoed through the halls, causing the group to freeze in terror. They looked at each other in shock, unsure of what to do next. That's when they noticed the strange symbols etched on the walls in what appeared to be blood. Ignoring their better judgment, they continued on their quest, hoping to uncover the secrets of this place. They ventured deeper into the asylum, passing by rows of empty cells, each one feeling more foreboding than the last. As they reached the end of the corridor, they noticed a door slightly ajar. Curiosity got the better of them, and they slowly pushed the door open. Inside, they found a room that was in stark contrast to the rest of the building. It was filled with strange objects, a few books, and a large wooden board. Amanda picked up the board and immediately recognized it as a Ouija board. The group hesitated, unsure of whether to try it out or not. However, John, who had always been skeptical of the paranormal, convinced them that it was all just a hoax and that there was nothing to be afraid of. The group decided to give it a try. They placed their fingers on the planchette and asked if there was anyone there. At first, nothing happened, and they started to feel a little foolish. But then, the planchette moved on its own, spelling out a name, Sarah. Sarah was terrified. She had always been sensitive to the supernatural, and she knew that something was wrong. The group tried to calm her down, but the board seemed to have taken on a life of its own. The planchette continued to move on its own, spelling out words that sent chills down their spines. Suddenly, the room grew cold, and they could see their breath as they exhaled. The planchette began to move more frantically, and the group realized that they had made a grave mistake. They tried to remove their fingers from the board, but they were stuck as if glued. Then, as if out of nowhere, a malevolent force took hold of the room. The group felt an intense pressure on their chests, as if something was trying to crush the life out of them. They heard strange whispers and moans, and the shadows in the room began to twist and contort into grotesque shapes. John tried to break the circle, but it was too late. The group was now in the clutches of an otherworldly entity that had been unleashed by their foolishness. They screamed for help, but there was no one around to hear them. As the night wore on, the group descended into madness. They were tormented by visions of the past, and they could feel the spirits of the asylum's former residents taking over their bodies. They could feel themselves losing their grip on reality, and they knew that there was no escape. Finally, as dawn broke, the malevolent force released its hold on them, and the group lay on the ground, exhausted and traumatized. As they walked down the long, shadowy hallway, the group could hear the sound of something shuffling along the ground, followed by a low, guttural growling. Their flashlights illuminated nothing but empty cells and rusted metal doors. Panic began to set in, and they quickened their pace. But as they turned a corner, they were met with a horrifying sight. At the end of the hallway, a figure stood in the flickering light of a broken fluorescent bulb. It was a patient, or what was left of one. Its skin was pale and stretched tight over its bones, its eyes sunken deep into its skull. But what was most unsettling was the way it moved. Its limbs twisted and contorted in ways that should not have been possible, like a marionette with its strings cut. The group froze, unsure of what to do. But the creature did not hesitate. It let out a blood-curdling scream and charged towards them. They ran, trying to make their way back to the entrance, but it was too late. The creature was too fast, and it caught up to them quickly. One by one, the group fell, torn apart by the creature's twisted limbs. Their screams echoed through the asylum's halls, but there was no one to hear them. No one except for the malevolent force that lingered within the walls of the abandoned asylum. And as the last of the group was dragged away, their fate sealed by the curse of the abandoned asylum, the malevolent force laughed, reveling in its victory. For it knew that it would never be truly defeated, and that it would continue to claim the lives of anyone who dared to enter its domain. As the night draws to a close, we bid farewell to the terrors that haunted us and the spine-tingling tales that kept us on the edge of our seats. Remember, the darkness may linger, but the dawn always brings a new light. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and never stop exploring the mysteries of the unknown.